2019, we saw the birth of All Elite Wrestling. Backed by Jacksonville Jaguar owner Tony Khan, AEW burst into the wrestling scene with a lot of hype behind it. The company had signed some big names like Chris Jericho, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. In the meantime, Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, had also left WWE and joined the company. This was around the time when wrestling fans were growing frustrated with years of Vince McMahon's creative decisions, believing he was booking the product to please himself rather than the audience. Many felt that WWE was not just ignoring their voices, but actively mocking them with its booking choices. Fans were in desperate need of an alternative, and AEW arrived at just the right moment to give fans exactly that. It featured some of the best wrestlers in the world and also introduced new stars to carry the business forward. Things seemed pretty good for AEW. It broke WWE's monopoly, offering a fresh, sports-oriented approach with high-quality in-ring action and long-term storytelling. On October 2nd, 2019, AEW launched its weekly television show Dynamite, marking a new era in professional wrestling, and with this, AEW officially became a major player in the industry. To establish credibility and attract mainstream attention, the company crowned Chris Jericho as its first ever AEW World Champion. With his decades of experience and global recognition, Jericho brought legitimacy to the title and helped draw more eyes to AEW. We've talked about the rise of AEW in multiple videos on this channel, so you can check those out. The point we're trying to make here is after the birth of AEW, wrestling was never the same again. AEW didn't just evolve itself, it forced WWE to change as well, reigniting competition and pushing both companies to deliver a better product for the fans. Dynamite aired on Wednesday, and WWE moved NXT from WWE Network to USA Network in September 2019, 2 weeks before AEW's debut, to counter it. In an effort to attract more viewers and dominate the Wednesday Night War, WWE also brought stars like Finn Balor, Charlotte Flair, and other main roster stars to NXT. But despite WWE's aggressive counter-programming, AEW consistently won the key 18 to 49 demographic, proving it had captured the younger audience. By April 2021, WWE moved NXT to Tuesday nights, conceding defeat in the Wednesday Night War. This led to Vince McMahon taking control of the show and changed it up completely. All the indie stars and established names like Adam Cole, Johnny Gargano, and Karrion Kross, who were seen on NXT, were now replaced with young stars like Bron Breakker, Carmelo Hayes, and Grayson Waller. AEW delivered some compelling storyline that resonated deeply with fans. Kenny Omega's dominant heel run as AEW World Champion, Hangman Page's emotional journey to finally capturing the title, and MJF's meteoric rise to the top all generated massive reactions, proving that AEW had mastered the art of storytelling. As AEW was getting more attention, WWE decided to do the unthinkable. They turned Roman Reigns heel and aligned him with Paul Heyman. Now, you can argue that this move had little to do with AEW's rise and was more about the timing and WWE's need for a fresh direction during the pandemic, but there's no denying that AEW's success played a role in pushing WWE to rethink its strategies. With AEW thriving and delivering a product that resonated with fans, WWE had no choice but to take risks and make big changes to keep up with the competition and keep its audience engaged. Roman won the Universal Championship and went on to hold it for more than 1,000 days, an accomplishment which wasn't common in this day and age. Throughout his reign, he defeated top stars like Kevin Owens, Edge, Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and many others, some of whom eventually made the move to AEW after their WWE contracts expired. Now, why are we discussing Roman Reigns' historic title run in this video? Well, we'll get to that in just a moment. In the meantime, AEW was also welcoming former WWE stars like Miro, Malachi Black, Adam Cole, and others, but the real turning point came in 2021 when CM Punk and Bryan Danielson made their highly anticipated debuts. After a 7-year hiatus from wrestling, CM Punk returned to the ring, and AEW was the company to bring him back to the industry, making it a massive moment in wrestling history. His return was a game changer, signaling that AEW was now a major force in professional wrestling, capable of drawing huge mainstream attention. However, things began to change for AEW in 2022. The year started with the news that one of the EVPs of the company, Cody Rhodes, who had helped start the company, was leaving. He was seen as the face of the company in the initial days, so the news news of him leaving AEW came out as a surprise. Some even believed it to be a part of an elaborate storyline, but on January 19th, 2022, he had his last match in AEW against Sammy Guevara. There was only one place for him to go after this, WWE, and at WrestleMania 38, he made his shocking return to the company as the mystery opponent for Seth Rollins. What made this return even more intriguing was that Cody came out to his AEW theme song, and WWE chose to present him as the American Nightmare, a persona he had built in the indies and perfected in AEW. So it was clear that WWE wasn't keeping a blind eye on AEW. They didn't shy away from acknowledging Cody's time in AEW, understanding that his success there was part of what made his return to WWE so significant. Cody then went on to have one of the best feuds of 2022 with Seth Rollins. All of this was still under Vince McMahon, but that all changed in July 2022 when McMahon stepped down from his role as the CEO of the company and announced his retirement. He did come back for a brief time, but things were going to be over for him very soon as a storm of controversy and, let's just say, allegations tarnished his name and he was forced to go away from WWE. The details of McMahon's departure and the reasons behind it are well documented, and the aftermath was just as transformative. Triple H took control of creative, allowing a fresh start for WWE with a renewed focus on fan-centered programming, in-ring quality, and long-term storytelling. McMahon's exit allowed WWE to adapt to the changing landscape of professional wrestling and move forward with a new creative vision. The timing of this coincided with one of AEW's biggest controversies. Following All Out's media scrum, CM Punk, The Elite, and others were involved in a backstage altercation. This happened after Punk's heated comments about The Elite, leading to Punk's suspensions. This was a significant dent in AEW's momentum. The situation created division within the company and raised questions about AEW's internal culture and leadership. This was the first time when fans started getting a glimpse of how things were in AEW backstage. While WWE was trying to rebuild and redefine its product under Triple H's creative direction, AEW was battling internal struggles that threatened to derail the progress it had made in its early years. AEW's controversy and WWE's transition under new leadership were two major turning points that shaped the direction of the wrestling industry in 2022 and beyond. In 2023, WWE positioned Cody Rhodes as the top contender for Roman Reigns' WWE Universal Championship. The American Nightmare was getting huge reaction from the fans, especially after his gusty performance at Hell in a Cell 2022, where he wrestled Seth Rollins with a torn pec and even beat him. The sight of him wrestling through such pain was uncomfortable to watch, but only elevated his status as a top babyface. By the time 2023 rolled around, Triple H was in charge of WWE's creative direction, and it was clear that he saw Cody Rhodes as the future of the company. Cody Rhodes' Royal Rumble win in early 2023 cemented his place as the next top contender for WWE's Universal Championship. However, when the time came at WrestleMania 39, Roman Reigns successfully retained his title against Cody Rhodes, a decision that surprised many. Roman Reigns was nearing his historic 1,000-day reign as Universal Champion, and WWE felt that keeping the title on him for the milestone moment was too important to pass up. Despite Cody's loss, WWE clearly positioned him as the next top guy, and the feud between Cody and Roman wasn't over. On the other hand, in AEW, CM Punk finally returned to the company. Fans were excited to see him back, and many wanted AEW to book a feud between Punk and the Elite based on what happened at All Out, but the Elite was reportedly not interested in pursuing any storyline with Punk. The backstage tension from the previous year was still very much present, and AEW opted not to address it directly. Instead, Tony Khan and the AEW creative team decided to go in a different direction for Punk, launching a new show titled AEW Collision. The show was primarily created to accommodate Punk's return and was meant to be a separate brand within AEW, with Punk positioned as the face of the programming. Soon, AEW began preparing for its biggest show at Wembley Stadium in London, England in 2023, All In. It was a historic show with around 81,000 people being in the stadium to watch the show. CM Punk was a key figure in AEW's build-up for the show, serving as one of the biggest draws to the event. He was scheduled to face Samoa Joe in a highly anticipated match, and there was a lot of excitement surrounding his involvement. But earlier that night, Jack Perry mocked him on camera with a "Cry Me a River" remark. Punk didn't like this and went on to confront Perry just moments before his match that led to a physical altercation altercation, and Punk ended up choking out Perry. Although Punk had his match with Joe, Tony Khan fired him from the company due to this incident. Yeah, they fired their biggest draw. Following this, he went straight to WWE, the same WWE he left in 2014 on bad terms. Shortly after his WWE return, Punk sat down with Ariel Helwani for an exclusive interview where he opened up about the controversial events in AEW, especially the altercation at All In. In the interview, Punk went on to detail about the incident, giving his side of the story. He also criticized Tony Khan, calling him a weak boss and blaming him for the internal chaos that led to his eventual departure from AEW. In the meantime, another man who had left AEW, Cody Rhodes, won his second Royal Rumble match in 2024, and this time he went on to beat Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania 40 and won the WWE Universal Championship. Not only did he beat Reigns, he had some of the best moments of the year with The Rock. Remember, this was the same Cody Rhodes who was in AEW just a few years ago. Imagine if he hadn't left the company in 2022. As time went on, AEW began facing a shift in fan interest. Fans who had once been excited about AEW's fresh approach to wrestling started losing interest and began gravitating back towards WWE. While WWE's improved product under Triple H's leadership played a significant role, AEW's decline also stemmed from its own internal issues, particularly questionable booking decisions. The long-term storytelling that AEW had mastered during its initial years was gone now. For example, the company failed to deliver a good payoff to the Devil storyline, where Adam Cole was revealed as the Devil and screwed MJF out of the AEW World Championship. Right now, WWE is delivering some of the most compelling wrestling stories in years. One of the biggest shocks recently came when John Cena turned heel on Cody Rhodes, a twist that no one saw coming. On the other hand, in AEW, the Death Rider storyline, which has been the top story for the last few months, has struggled to capture the same level of attention. While the storyline has potential, it has failed to generate the kind of emotional investment and intrigue that AEW fans have come to expect from the company's earlier years. Regardless of AEW's current situation, it's undeniable that the company has played a pivotal role in shaping the wrestling landscape we see today. AEW was a game changer, offering an alternative to WWE that redefined the standards for wrestling promotions. It was exactly what fans had been yearning for: a fresh product with a focus on in-ring action, compelling storytelling, and a genuine connection with its audience. WWE does the exact same thing better than AEW today, but we have to acknowledge that if AEW never existed, it's difficult to imagine that WWE would be where it is today. Cody Rhodes' WWE return wouldn't be that big of a deal, and we might not even have ever gotten a CM Punk return. AEW brought the competition and pushed WWE to evolve and innovate. So this is how AEW changed WWE forever.